So Chris, I wonder if we could spend just a little bit of time talking about some goals. So obviously you're here because you want things better.
That's for sure.
Just wondered if you had any specific goals in mind of what you'd like to see different.
To be a better dad.
Okay.
To be able to put it into practice, because I know the skills. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I went to the parenting group and I heard it all, but just don't know how to do it.
So you just need a little bit of support to maybe remind you about some of the skills and come up with a bit of a parenting plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to be a better dad, and what else?
Well, hopefully that would mean that my kids are going to school
Right.
and that they're doing well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried about the kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I know Ashley's got something going on that I can't figure out, but just that the kids get support too.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like you got a lot of worries about them.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
So you said that you wanted to be a better dad. Is that sort of maybe have a better relationship with them?
Yeah, we had a great relationship, but
Right.
I just feel like I don't know, being as depressed as I am all the time, it's hard to keep this good relationship.
Right. So you mentioned the depressed piece again. I'm just wondering if you'd ever given any thought to maybe getting assessed on that. Again, I can't diagnose you with that, and I'm not saying that you're depressed, but it's something that you've mentioned a few times now.
What's the point? Like, I'm depressed, and that's what it is. It is what it is. So,
Well, sometimes getting an assessment is a good idea. Like maybe to see your family doctor, maybe mention it, talk about some of the struggles you're having. You know, lack of motivation, trouble sleeping, always tired, hard to get going, things like that. Let kind of that professional guide you on that.
will I get medication because of that?
Well, that would be a discussion between you and him, right? Certainly if it turned out that if it was a depression, there's lots of different options that you and he could discuss. So could that be something that you would think about doing, maybe before we meet again?
Think about it, yeah.
Okay. And one of the goals you said was to be a better dad. That's a pretty big goal, right?
It's the number one goal.
It's the number one. Really hear how important your kids are to you. So we have lots of really, really great programs that will be able to help you with that. So we've got some parenting programs that are like Triple P. We've also got some individual. We've got some family work. We do in-home work. So whatever, once our assessment's done, then we'll have you and I will kind of collaborate on what kind of how you want to go forward, and then we'll implement whatever service is going to fit best for you.
Okay.
So there's lots of choices. So it's really great that you're here. I just wonder if there's anything you could sort of do in the meantime, because that seems like a big goal that's might be a little too big and too looming. I'm just wondering if there's anything sort of small that you'd be able to do, like maybe even tomorrow, that might make you feel a little bit better about the parenting that you're doing. Anything kind of small that.
I just want to get my kids up on time for school, and to do that, I need to get out of bed.
Okay.
And for them to get breakfast.
So that's really important for you to get them up and get them going and get some fuel in them and food so they can get out and get to school.
Mm-hmm.
So what would it take for you to be able to get up tomorrow morning to be able to help get them up and get their morning going?
To get a good night's sleep the night before.
Okay, so that would be tonight.
Yeah.
So
that's happening quick.
So what time would you need to go to bed in order to get a good night's sleep?
That depends when the kids calm down and stop making noise, and
Okay.
yeah. 11.
11. Okay, so if you were in bed by 11, is that possible to do?
Could be if I
Get to bed at 11 and
prioritize that.
Okay. And is there things that sort of keep you awake? Are you on the computer? Are you on electronics or reading? Is there things that distract you from sleeping?
I game and I do some online stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So what would you have to do to turn
But those
that
are
off?
kind of like my supports things at the same time, but
Right. So is there a way to get a bit of a balance so you can do some of the things that you enjoy but still
maybe
turn it
set
off?
an alarm, I guess. Just
Set an alarm. It's a really great idea. Yeah, set the alarm to go off so you can get yourself to bed for 11.
Yeah.
And then set an alarm for the morning. What time would you need to get up in order to help your kids?
6:30.
Okay.
That's what our schedule used to always be, but
Right.
my wife always did that, so
Right.
I'd get up, but I didn't have to do too much, so I'd get to lay there.
Right.
But
So you'd need to get up at 6:30, And then what would you like to be able to do with the kids in the morning? So you could say this was a really good morning.
Make them breakfast. Make sure
Okay.
they get on the bus on time.
Okay. What?
It's not even too much. It's just be normal.
Well, normal's a setting on a dishwasher. So you said make breakfast. What would you like to make?
I don't mean like making like a big fancy breakfast.
Doesn't
It's
have to be.
like Eggos in the toaster kind of thing. And
Eggos in the toaster. Yeah,
that's-
some juice.
yeah, that's enough.
Get yourself some coffee, and then would you
Yeah.
all sit down on the table and have that together?
That would be nice. We always used to watch Survivor Wednesday nights. We would
Yeah.
eat dinner together all the time. Like got regular times that are on the table. So it would be nice just to sit at the table for 20 minutes before school starts.
Well, it sounds too like that was a really important ritual that you had, right? But it sounds like it's one that you could maybe bring back in and do yourself, right? With a little bit of planning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know it's tough to sort of jump into things being
Mhm.
different. That's why we want to do small, measurable goals, so you can start to feel some success, so you can start to feel a little bit of hope yourself
Right.
that you'll be able to do more. So it sounds like you got a plan for tonight. Get to bed by 11. Turn the computer off. Up at 6:30. Get the Eggos in the toaster.
Yeah. So
Get some juice and start your
waking
day.
up a 14-year-old will, you know.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
14-year-olds. That's a whole different breed. So it sounds like we've got some good goals to start with, and our assessment is going to be ongoing. We're going to sort of wrap up the first part, but obviously as we get to know each other a little bit better, we might be wanting to tweak or adapt these goals too. Okay, but you'll always be part of that. We won't be changing
Right.
goals without having conversation first.
Okay.
Okay, I just wonder if we could just spend the rest of time today kind of moving into the social history. So again, as I mentioned, this is all part of our assessment process to get a better sense of who you are, kind of where you came from, things that you like to do, all the kind of pieces that make up who you are. That helps
Sounds
us.
like a lot of questions.
It is a lot of questions, and we don't have to do all of them today. And Chris, I'd rather, instead of just grilling question after question, I really just want to be able to just have a conversation, right?
Okay.
So if there's things that you're comfortable talking about, we can go there. If there's things you don't want to talk about, you absolutely can just say pass and move on to the next
Okay.
sort of topic. So some of the things that I am going to be looking at today is sort of family of origin, sort of what your kind of childhood was like, what schooling was like, employment, relationships, things like that.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just get through what we can today. So the first thing that we always like to do is kind of look at some of your family of origin, which really means the family where you started, right?
Right.
Because often some of the things that we do now kind of come from similarity in traits and that we've seen from our
I always
parents.
said I would be nothing like my dad, but yeah.
Well, tell me a little bit about your dad.
This stuff in the intake, I didn't really want to. I don't want to go in depth on this.
No, I
at this point,
appreciate that. Yeah,
we
whatever
just-
you're comfortable sharing.
He was a good provider.
Yeah.
But before we were able to do anything fun, like we just wanted to go swimming or go play hockey, but we'd have to go pick things from the garden and do a bunch of chores before we did anything fun. Like it was get home from school and do stuff. It was not fun. Wasn't something we were able to do. And then by probably about 7 o'clock, Dad was wasted and
Right.
would get angry pretty easily.
Okay. So that must have been tough growing up in that environment.
It was really hard.
Sounds like a couple of things though that you kind of took from him, right? Being a good provider is important to him, and it's also very important to you. And him, having you do all these chores, kind of maybe raised you with a bit of maybe a good work ethic, right? Because you've always been a hard worker until you've kind of had this accident, and then all the things that have come from that.
Yeah, before the accident, it was good.
Yeah. What about your mom?
She was good. I sometimes wish she would have stood up to my dad, but
Mhm.
she was always really nurturing. And
Right.
yeah, she ended up getting into some drinking as well
Okay.
down the road. So we're pretty distant now.
Okay. You don't
Yeah, we don't
see-
talk very much.
You don't see them much at all.
No,
No. When was the last time you talked to them?
probably about 8 months ago when they called me asking for money, and I didn't have any money because this is situation. But
Right. Okay.
yeah,
So some kind of tough time with some relationships there, right?
mm-hmm.
What about siblings? Have you got any brothers or sisters?
Yeah, it was pretty full house.
Yeah.
Did you when you were growing up? Did you have a big family kind of thing? Or?
Well, it's not really about me, Chris, right? I just wonder if you could tell me a little bit about your siblings. It sounds like you had a big family and lots of activity. So who was in your house?
I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you fall in the birth order?
Right in the middle.
Okay.
So my older sister and I were like best friends though, so that was always good.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what was it like being the middle child? Is it true what they say about the middle child?
Kind of get forgotten about a bit.
Yeah.
The parents were super diligent about the older ones, and then kind of by the end of it, they're favorites because they know that they're going to be the last ones. So I
Right.
got to fly under the radar, which sometimes was a good thing
Yeah,
with my
sometimes
dad.
it's good and-
Yeah.
And sometimes not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you're close with your older sister.
mhm.
Anybody else that you were close with in your house?
No, Kelly's my main person. Not any. I was close with my younger brother, but we distanced. But it's all good. He just doesn't live in the country anymore.
Right. Okay. Can you tell me maybe a happy memory that you have from your childhood?
Well, with Kelly, my older sister, we would always just sneak off into town, and her being older, she would be able to just buy things or whatever it was. She had a part-time job, so we'd often go out for, like, we'd go for coffee, but I wouldn't drink coffee, but I'd get a donut and a chocolate milk.
Right.
And that was kind of a really nice memory.
Nice time you
Yeah.
had with just her, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like when your house is so chaotic too, right? Sometimes maybe just having the two of you
It's
to
a
have some
little
quiet,
retreat, that's
yeah,
for sure.
some quiet time. So was she a good sort of support for you?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you had some struggles with your dad. And
Yeah.
She must have understood what you were kind of going
We all
through.
went through that, so we all
Yeah.
understand what each other went through, but
Right.
yeah.
And do you still see Kelly now? Is she still a support for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to see her.
When was the last time you talked to her?
A couple weeks ago now.
Okay. So you do keep in touch.
We keep in touch. It's harder to see each other. She's really busy, but she's got a good job. She does well. So
Sounds like you're proud of her.
yeah, she's the good sibling.
The good sibling.
Yeah, but she's been a great aunt as well to the kids. So
That's
the kids
great.
like her. So I'm trying to keep some sort of consistent for the kids.
That's great. That's nice to hear that. So the next piece is it's just sort of asking around some of the relationships. So were you ever married before, Rebecca?
No,
No. Okay.
she was my high school sweetheart.
Oh, she was, eh? Yeah.
Mhm.
And did you go to high school here?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. We'll stop
So
there.
it's like high school here.